Hello, and welcome to Breaking News Now. I'm your host, Joe Everyman, and this is the series where we take a deep dive into issues you didn't think you needed to know about, and ask the questions you didn't ask for. Today, a dramatic pause. Trudeau, once again, takes over 20 seconds to respond to a question about Trump's recent conduct. We psychoanalyze that 21-second pause to get to the bottom of it and find out what it really means. Jagmeet Singh gets asked to leave the House of Commons for calling a Quebec MP quote-unquote racist. We bring on our diversity and politics panel to look deeply into this matter. Our top story. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau recently made headlines for a dramatic 21-second pause when asked to comment on the Trump regime's violent crackdown on protesters at Lafayette Square. Well, Trump, up to his old antics, recently tweeted out against protesters attending one of his rallies. And here's what the Prime Minister had to say about that. Now, Trump is holding a rally in Tulsa, and he's threatening violence once again against anyone who protests. So I'm wondering if you could comment on that, and if you fail to condemn the use of violence against protesters, I'm wondering what kind of message it sends to the rest of Canadians. Okay, I want to bring in our chief political correspondent, Bob Bobbleson, to give his input on the matter. So, Bob, when you saw those 21 seconds of whatever that was, what were your first impressions? Thank you, Joe. Now, as you'll recall, last time around, Justin Trudeau paused for 21 seconds when asked to condemn the actions of the Trump regime on violently cracking down on protesters at Lafayette Park in Washington, D.C. This time around, Trudeau once again pausing for 21 seconds, except this time around, he's incorporated a sort of bobbing-like motion, almost as though he's bobbing for apples. And I feel like this is another incident in which non-words speak much louder than words. I think everyone knows what Justin Trudeau was trying to say there. But what I took away from it is Trudeau bobbing for apples. Where often do you get the opportunity to bob for apples? Well, in carnivals, right? And where are most carnivals found? Well, they're found down south. What's down south? Republican states. Now, Justin Trudeau was not jumping for joy when bobbing for these apples. So I took away from this that he actually condemns what Donald Trump is saying because he condemns Republican states because he was bobbing for apples and not jumping for joy. And I think it's pretty clear when I watch the tape that that's what Trudeau's trying to say. And I'm really excited to see what sort of motions he puts forward on this matter. Okay, thank you, Bob Bobbleson. Our next story. Jagmeet Singh recently called out a Bloc MP for being racist. He was then asked to apologize for that statement, and he refused to do so. And so he was put in a timeout. Now, we've spent the better part of 2 weeks talking about this, but we're still not certain we've gotten to the bottom of this issue. So today we're bringing in our diversity and inclusion panel. And on this panel we have Steve Jeffries. Okay, he's a political consultant from a firm of some kind. And we also have Bob Bobelson, who is a correspondent on this network. Thank you both for being here. What is it that we're both bearded men? Is that what this is? Okay, so first question. Is he in the wrong? Is Jagmeet Singh in the wrong? Is that what's happening here? Joe, frankly, I'm rather frustrated that we're still discussing this. So the whole issue at hand is systemic racism. And I do think that the media is rather misdirecting people's attention from systemic racism, making this whole non-apology incident out to be a much bigger issue than it is. Did you see Trudeau's new haircut? That's right, Joe. Justin Trudeau recently got a haircut, and what did he do? He cut it short. And what I take away from that is that he's cutting his hair short to infer that he's thinking short-term and long-term. He realizes we're in the midst of a crisis, we're in the midst of a pandemic, and he wants to see short-term action, but also thinking in the long term. Thinking, where can Canada go from here, right? And that's what I'm taking away from his short-term haircuts. And I gotta tell you, Joe, I'm really excited to see where this administration takes things, because you know, I'm just really excited. And that's our show for today. I'm your host, Joe Everyman, and thank you for joining us on Breaking News Now. Tune in next time when I decide to make another one of these pieces of shit and bring you more about the news you didn't think you needed to know.